NBC Golf Channel on EA Sports, in association with the PGA Tour, proudly presents the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's the final round of the Peach Invitational. Located in Atlanta, Georgia, the East Lake Golf Club is the home course to the legendary golfer Bobby Jones. It's the oldest golf course in the city of Atlanta. This is Rich Lerner along with Frank Novelo for EA Sports, and we'll be calling all the action out on the course today. This is a par 4 that will test the players. 476 yards, the 13th hole. And Frank, it's a good driving hole.
It certainly is. It plays closer to 500 yards because you're going uphill. Avoid the two bunkers on the left. That's a given there. You can see those off the tee. And that second shot, make sure you take enough club to carry that bunker on the left.
Frank, right where you want to be.
Wouldn't be better if it was on a tee.
This, the second shot here at the par 4. It has historically been one of the final events of the PGA Tour season. Prior to 2007, its field consisted exclusively of the top 30 money winners of the past PGA Tour season. Since 2007, it's been the final event of the 4-tournament FedEx Cup playoff, and eligibility is determined by FedEx Cup points amassed throughout the season instead. While originally followed by the PGA Tour Fall Series, a realignment of the Tour's season structure beginning in 2013 makes the Tour Championship the final event of the season. Pretty good shot right there. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Back here at the par 4 14th, we're ready to tee off.
Long and straight.
That's how you do it. And Frank, these winds have not at all subsided. Still a challenge.
Yeah, the same for everybody, and that's where you've just got to adjust your own mental par. Golf course was going to be difficult when you teed off. It's certainly no different now. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
That's well played. Now a good look at birdie. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Came to the putt excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, little change in the attitude right now. When you've let one go, you've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important that this one goes in.
Seems to really have the touch today. Well, Frank, here at the 15th, this is the spot where a player has to make a move if he's trailing 525 yards. At last, a par 5.
Yes, players like Henrik Stenson, who have won here, have actually hit 3-wood off this tee and just playing it slightly left of those 2 bunkers on the corner and then left with like a 2-iron or even a utility club to get it up quickly, because that second shot is very, very severely uphill. Second shot. That's an absolute beauty.
Setting up for an approach shot here. On the green. And a chance for birdie. So a tester from 4 feet. Starting to put it together right now, Frank.
Join that trio at the top.
This picturesque hole providing a commanding view of the Atlanta skyline and East Lake Golf Club. The fairway narrows to 25 yards in width, 278 yards from the tee, making driving accuracy a premium on this long par 4. From here, a mid to long iron is needed to reach the green. 2 large bunkers await errant approaches into a large receptive green that slopes yet again from back to front. Frank, did you hear the sound of that coming off the club face?
It was like a cannon.
Outstanding tee shot.
Yeah, ball sitting up. You don't have to worry about the wind or anything there. You just take a full-blooded cut at the second shot from here.
Well, this is the point in the round where a player really wants to be focused, dialed in. Second shot here at the par 4 16th.
And coming off a downhill lie, so allow that ball to go a little bit further than normal and perhaps even take that extra kick.
This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Good, clean contact and a nice result. And a chance for birdie coming up. Frankie's going for 2 birdies in a row.
If he can knock this one in, then that's help the confidence.
Don't leave it short. Wow. This one just requires a little bit of focus. That's a solid par. Still in it, Frank. Now the 17th hole here at East Lake, 455 yards, made famous a few years back by Bill Haas, who splashed one out of the water left of the green on his way to winning the FedEx Cup Championship. Well, those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards, just crushed it in the fairway. Second shot, good look at the green.
This is not heading in the right direction.
You know, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Well, that's how you do it. Hit it close, take the pressure off that putt. That one should be no problem. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
And he makes it for par. On to the finishing hole here at East Lake Golf Club. Not many courses end with a par 3. It's always a fun finishing hole.
Safely on deck.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Just 5 feet left. Frank, you know what gets me about this game? Here a person makes a legitimate effort, makes a good stroke, and that ball spins around and is just laughing at the player. And now what's left? You could breathe on that ball. It counts the same as a 300-yard drive. It's not right.
But it's the beauty of the game.
Frank, we did see some good golf out there today, but others really struggled.
Yeah, any competitive player wants to win. We don't doubt that, but we know you're not going to win them all. So it's still important for every golfer to continue to gain experience, to actually get something out of each and every tournament they play in.
EA Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present a national championship. It's opening round coverage of the United States Open Championship. Welcome to Chambers Bay with its massive rolling fairways, towering dunes, undulating greens, and unpredictable coastal winds. This links-style course providing the backdrop for the world's best golfers here at the U.S. Open. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo will call every shot today for EA Sports. Frank, what is Chambers Bay all about?
A nice blend of links and parkland golf, really. You can still play the ball, through the air, play your own style of play, but it just looks like you've got to play the ball along the ground, almost link style. These huge cavernous type bunkers that adorn the sides of the fairways, big greens, undulating greens. It really is a wonderful test, and off the back it can play very long.
Frank, you've been there, down to the wire at several U.S. Opens. What's that pressure like?
It's so different from any other type of major championship because that's normally the toughest test. That's where the scores are the highest, i.e. relative to par. That's actually where par itself is a good score. I mean, you're bruised and battled by the end of the week. With the exception, really, remember when Rory McIlroy won at Congressional? That's the one time when a U.S. Open played soft. But Martin Kaymer at Pinehurst on a firm, fast golf course, it's a different test. Tiger Woods at Pebble Beach. You just think of people struggling at the end of the week and really last man standing. That's what a U.S. Open means.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. This is a long putt. Really, the key is the speed. If it drops, that's a bonus. That's a head scratcher. No other way to put it. That close to the green and misses it badly to the right. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. But you hate to miss from that distance. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Well, maybe next time. So, 2 over par for the round. Frank, we know we're at a U.S. Open. 500-yard par 4s, and here a better than 600-yard par 5 at the 8th.
Yeah, you need a missile really off the tee to be able to reach this par 5 and 2, and not a single bunker really on this hole. So this is just long every stretch of the way. The fairway actually looks a little bit narrow than what it is. There's a little bit more fairway than actually what meets the eye at first.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball, and this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. And he steps up to take this shot from the fairway. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. That was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Lining this one up for par. Man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Call in the medics, Frank. Can't stop the bleeding here.
Just racking the bogeys up.
Rich Lerner and Frank Nobilo back with you here at Chambers Bay in the U.S. Open. Now to the 9th hole, closing out this front side.
Well, it just goes to show the tremendous variety that the designer, Robert Trent Jones II, has done here. We've seen already a tremendous variation, and then this sort of just goes on top of it. Elevated tee, goes down to a green that just slopes a little bit to the right. Well bunkered on the right. This looks like it's going to find the target.
That's one of the more depressing sights in golf. You hit a good one, and then it just sucks back too much spin off the green. Now on the green, has about 10 feet left there to save par. Locked in on the read and the speed. Well, you can see the golfer is just boiling right now after that miss and a drop shot here at the 9th. Just a couple of feet. And he makes it for a bogey here. Action continuing here. We've just made the turn. Let's go out to number 10, see what's happening. Frank has not gone their way through the early portion of the round. What can they do to turn it around?
Well, you're right, Rich. It's been a rough start. It's basically back to basics. Missing too many fairways and too many greens, so therefore less opportunities. Got to reverse that trend.
Not the longest, but not bad. 295 yards in the fairway. Frank, straight uphill with this approach shot, what do you have to factor in terms of club selection and setup over the ball?
Well, you're going to have to take at least an extra club to make up for that added elevation. And also, it's tougher to get onto that front foot.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Early part of this second nine. Good approach shot. Now, pretty good chance for birdie.
Really. This is an awkward length.
Little bit of a misread there.
Yeah, it was makeable, that's for sure.
Shouldn't be a problem here. Frank, you can see by the reaction, it has been that kind of week. Just a few too many pars. Well, that'll do it for today. Not a great performance, not on the first page of that leaderboard.
Yeah, the people on the top of this leaderboard are there for a reason. They hit more fairways, more greens. It sounds easy, and I know this is a difficult course, but that's the way it's going to have to be played.
EA Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present a national championship. Today, it's live second round coverage of the U.S. Open Championship. Down to the first tee now to get the round going, and a stout par 4, Frank.
Yeah, straight out of the gates. The wind obviously very important here. If you were to play it into a head breeze, this would be just a mammoth hole, just under 500 yards. Fortunately, with a little prevailing breeze, though, it'll shorten up considerably, but will bring that bunker on the right in play.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Now the approach here at hole number 1, and Frank, what are we looking at?
Well, semi-blind, but it's fine. You know, just a little peek and you can see what's in front of you. Really no bunkers down the left side. If you do miss down there, a little chip back up the hill, but it's a big enough green.
That is a green in regulation as the approach shot hits the first green, but he is by no means in for par yet. A lengthy putt coming up. Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. You like that right there, Frank?
Beautiful lag putt. Great pace.
For par. That's not how you picture it, Frank, when you step on that first tee.
No, you'd like to go back to that first tee right now and start again.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Oh, I thought he had that. That's about as depressing a moment as there is in golf. When you miss the bogey putt, you know you're staring at double. Frank, you know full well, this can be a humbling game.
And an embarrassing game.
Second hole now here at Chambers Bay in the U.S. Open, Frank. It's a relatively short par 4.
It doesn't mean it's easy, though. This is more of a strategic hole. You want to lay the ball up around sort of 270, 280 yards. Avoid that big bunker on the left. It is going to leave a short iron in, but the hole bends to the left as well as the slope of the land is right to left. Got to take that into account.
And that's going to stay on the fairway here at the second hole. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
You can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable. That never deviated offline.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Just a little tap in here.
Do that.
Now set to play the first par 3 of this U.S. Open, Frank, the third hole here at Chambers Bay.
A little bit like the second hole where the contours slope from right to left. So if that breeze is coming from that direction, that's going to swing the ball all the way across the green. And this green is anything other than symmetrical.
This one looks right on point. He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Par yesterday. Now for birdie. Looks like he just misread that. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Good work right there. He'll settle for par. Frank, so often a U.S. Open is defined by difficult par 4s. How does the fourth here at Chambers Bay stack up?
Well, Richard, adds to your list here. 495 yards, that says one thing, but the fact that it's anything other than straight, bunkers left and down the right side, plus the hole bends to the right, so this is a very strategic hole. If anything, something slightly left of center, but you're still going to have a lengthy second shot.
Nice long tee shot there and a good lie, Frank. Frank, what's the best play here on this second shot at the fourth hole?
Obviously, if you can reach, you should still go for it. The bunker, that sort of short right and wraps around that right side, actually is there to help you. There's nothing wrong with that second shot catching the ridge and going back in there, but you know, a good one that kicks straight, chance for eagle.
It should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Birdie try up next. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
That's a head scratcher. No other way to put it. That close to the green and misses it badly to the right. Sitting right now at 2 over par for the round. Frank, nothing really went the player's way this week.
Yeah, if this was motor racing, you'd say it's a case of having 4 flat tires.
Now the 5th hole here at the U.S. Open, and Frank, quite a dramatic tee shot.
Everything's really in front of you. You can see it from the elevated tee, bunkers left and right. That's not really the problem. One of the problems is that bunker just short, smack bang in the middle of this green. So the chances of flying that bunker and stopping on this green down breeze are probably next to none. So you're going to have to go in right or left of that bunker.
Well, those are good numbers right there. 320, 320 yards. Just crushed it in the fairway. Frank, what do we have with the approach shot here at the 5th?
Just got to be cognizant of that bunker. That's you can see it there. That's just central front of this green. You've either got to go around it, or if you're good enough, then you go straight over it. But you've got to have a ton of spin on the second shot.
That was a solid strike and a good result. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, you couldn't hit that much better.
Just a couple of feet. Got it for par. Frank, disappointing couple of rounds there.
And consequently a miscut. No chance of playing in the weekend, but there's more than one tournament ahead.
EA Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present a national championship. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the U.S. Open Championship. Today, we're here at Chambers Bay in University Place, Washington for the U.S. Open Championship. Rich Slaughter alongside Frank Novelo for EA Sports, set to bring you all of the action out on the course. And Frank, what can you tell us about this unusual layout?
It's actually the first golf course that Robert Trent Jones II has actually designed in Washington. And it just fits in beautifully with the environment. The Puget Sound really sets off the whole golf course. So it looks like a links golf course, but it can play in so many different ways. You can play it through the air, you can play it along the ground. And of course already it's hosted US Amateur and US Open. Second shot. Well, Rich, if there's something to be taken out of this tournament, then it's that right there. Eagle. They've been hard to come by.
Maybe you can build on that. Now at the second and a medium-length par 4, Frank.
Yeah, a slight dogleg to the left, rather long, skinny green here, well bunkered all the way down the left side. Really anything down the right and the natural contours of the land should kick that ball a little to the left.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Frank, what's the best way to access the hole location on this second shot here at the second hole at Chambers Bay?
Well, Rich, it's really set up with a drive. If you can drive it down the right side, you get a better view. Plus, you can avoid that ridge that's in the middle of the green on the left side. If you're coming in from the left side, that bunker on the right, now you realize why they put that there. Because when you've got a skirt to the right of that ridge, that second shot becomes a little more difficult.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Boy, he looked like Ben Crenshaw right there. That was smooth and easy, right in the heart. Now on to the first par 3 of the U.S. Open here at Chambers Bay.
It's all in front of you. Beautiful view there in the distance. You can see the water. Once again, it does slope a little right to left. Don't have to go straight at the flag here. This one's a little bit of a sleeper.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par.
Good effort and good par putt. Frank, the fourth hole here at Chambers Bay is the kind of par 4 that says emphatically U.S. Open.
Yeah, it's not a rarity these days to have par 4s that are around 500 yards. This is just slightly shy of that. Once again, it's a stiff tee shot. Avoid trouble left and right. A little bit of a bend to the right on this hole, but don't be fooled by that. If anything, the drive has to be hit down the left side.
Frank, not the longest hitter, but sometimes you win tournaments by putting it in a good spot, and that's where we are right here, 280 yards out.
Yeah, 280 down the middle of the fairway. That'll never get you in trouble.
Birdie try up next. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. You couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. Well, not in contention, but in for par. Frank, I have to say, I've been impressed by the level of golf today. Really came out here with a solid game plan and executed.
And consequently, a very solid round. Continuing with that kind of play can certainly put you in the winner's seat.
EA Sports and the United States Golf Association are proud to present a national championship. Today, it's live final round coverage of the U.S. Open Championship. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back. That's fine.
Frankie's cranking it and banking it. Giant drives, a boatload of birdies. What a round.
Yeah, these are the days you just dream for. We know golf's not that easy, but on a day like today, savor it and just keep going. Keep doing it.
So going well up the hill to that green, we'll need to take an extra club here. This is a good-looking shot. I mean, really on top of his game right now. That was a splendid approach shot. Made par yesterday. This one for birdie. Wow, I thought he made that. Came to the putt, excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now. You've let one go. You've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
Has his par. Now on to the 11th, and Frank, we are looking at a long par 4 in front of us.
We are indeed, and it's called shadows, but there is love in the shadows here. Hit it over that dune down there in the middle of the fairway. If you can get it there around the 300-plus yard mark, then the hole obviously starts to get a little easier. That second shot, you'd like to hit a little bit of a cut in here, but there's two levels to this green, so make sure you're on the right level where that flag is.
Good tee shot right in the fairway and plenty long. The 11th hole. Frank, what's ahead here?
This is another green that's sort of sloped. There's a lot of little slopes in this green here, plus the green angles from right to left. So it just depends on whether that second shot that lands. You've got to be well aware of what you're landing on. If you're landing on a downslope, it's going to kick forward. Obviously, an upslope, it's going to stop that much quicker.
Well, Frank, obviously way too much club there.
You've got to think something like that, or at least misread the wind. This is never going to sit down.
Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
You wonder what he's thinking on that.
putter, no problem. Slams that into the cup. Stepping up to the tee here at the 11th, Frank.
It looks straightforward. You see a big dune in the middle of the fairway. You can really take that out of play. Get it down there as far as you can. You're going to need to. And then from there on in, it's really just trying to find out exactly how to land that second shot so that you can get it on the right level.
And as he strides up here to the 12th green, having hit it in regulation, he knows now that his work is by no means done. A long putt coming up. This is a pretty long putt here. You'd be happy to get this to within 2 or 3 feet. You really want to take the stress out of that next putt. Pretty good stroke right there, just to hit it through the break.
Well, it's that sort of distance. If it goes in, it's a bonus.
This long putt for birdie could be a tough one here. Well, there's an opportunity wasted.
Just knock it in for a par, and let's forget about this one. Golf is not about perfect, but it is going to hurt the cause.
Like Ben Crenshaw right there, just so smooth.
Well played before.
Coming down the stretch here at the U.S. Open at Chambers Bay, just 6 holes to play, and Frank, this par 4 13th will really test the players.
It is. If someone makes 3 here down the stretch, it will be monumental. A 4 here, no one would leave this hole unhappy.
Good tee shot right in the short grass. Set for his next shot from a good position in the fairway. Players still fighting the strong winds out there today. And this is looking really good. Frank, how did he do there?
Well, he's inside 30 feet, but 27 feet, it's not exactly what you'd call close.
Getting set now over the putt. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
For par. In for par. Frank, a fifth consecutive par 4 here at the U.S. Open. This is the 14th hole, and I'm guessing by the time you set foot on this tee, you'll know exactly where your game is at.
Oh, this one here, great reward for someone that's driving the ball well. If you can drive it down the left middle, avoid that little one-pot bunker in the middle of the fairway, you're going to certainly shorten this hole up. And then you can start to use the contours of this hole, too, that bend right to left. And 546 yards becomes much shorter than what you would think. That's beyond long.
That is a sensational play right there, and you have to think that the little helping breeze gave that a nice boost.
You can't be that good.
This, the second shot here at the par 4. Seems to like it. Headed for the fat part of the green. Birdie try up next. Boy, this could be a tough one right here, Frank.
It's a very long putt, Rich. Obviously, it's difficult, but he still has a shot to sink this one for birdie.
Oh, I thought he had that. Frank, that's not one you're necessarily thinking about making.
No, just a good putt, though. There's no two ways about that. He's putting well.
Just a couple of feet. Good putt. Now to the 15th hole here at Chambers Bay and the U.S. Open. It stands out, at least to the eye, because it has the only tree on the golf course.
That's right. That's why it's called lone fir, this hole. And especially when they played off that short tee in the U.S. Open, 167 yards to the middle of the green. This is certainly a chance for a birdie coming in.
Not too bad, about 25 feet away. Par yesterday, now for birdie. Made a good run at birdie. He'll have to focus now, try to walk away with the par. Settles in over the putt.
Just a little bit of a misread there. We surmise.
Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Tough hole. Has this now for double bogey. Take no pleasure in saying it, but it's a fact. It's a double bogey. Getting set to take on the finishing holes here at Chambers Bay. How do you do it in the right way, Frank?
Well, when you look down this fairway, obviously everything slopes left to right. That makes this hole actually play a little bit more of a dogleg to the right, even though it doesn't look it. And then, of course, that green up ahead, it's like a tabletop. So precision here is absolutely paramount.
That's in the fairway. Frank, now a pretty short shot here into the 16th.
Yeah, green, anything other than flat. Very narrow, skinny green, but also slopes left to right. You can use that to your advantage. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
That was a solid strike and a good result. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Continues to roll it very well all day long. Frank, you don't need just a caddy out here at Chambers Bay. Seems like you need a sports psychologist. You start thinking about the names of these holes. Beached at 16, and what's 17 called?
Derailed, and you can see why too. That green's perched up there. If you've got the round going in the wrong direction, this is not a hole to start on. So if you've got a run going, it's just a good tee shot that lands around the front there, and you just take a 3 here. This is not a time to be a hero. This is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough.
Second shot. Another good swing. Another good approach shot.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. So a steady climber with the par into the top 10.
Yeah, another scrapper.
Now to the 18th hole. Frank, everyone wants to finish in style.
Yeah, the home hole here, once again you head back to just a wonderful view, and you realize that Chambers Bay was designed as a walking golf course, and it was designed to have fun and test every department of your game. 18 will do that. It probably gives you more trouble on both sides of the hole than any other hole on the golf course.
And the tee shot ends up in the bunker. All right, Frank, second shot.
Yeah, it looks like a good lie. Just take maybe half a club more than the distance allows. Still got to check the wind. Don't have to fly the ball all the way to the flag from here.
Given the choice, most players would rather play from the green grass versus the white sand.
Yeah, there was no advantage to try and take that much more out of that fairway bunker. Couldn't reach the green. That's a smart play. Should be safely on deck.
He's making the game look very simple right now. See it, hit it, and he's got it right on track. Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Just a tap in to finish the hole. How you maintain momentum and make those putts for par. Well, that'll wrap up our coverage of the final round. This is Rich Lerner alongside Frank Novelo for EA Sports. We'll see you next week. EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live opening round coverage of the Mid-Season Classic. Always a pleasure to be along the coast of Maine, Lighthouse Point to be exact. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports. Frank, this is sure to be another exciting day of golf out there. What are the challenges facing our players today?
The length of the golf course for a start, Rich, this golf course just under 7,700 yards. So it's one of the longest ones you'll play. And of course the cliffs, that's why it's called this, they certainly are in play. There is one double green out there, that's the 10th and the 13th hole, they share the same green. Lots of great design features, and you've got it on a prime day in great condition. So enjoy the round and make sure you feast on the vistas as well.
Nothing to argue about there, right in the fairway. Steeply up the hill here. This is going to play very long. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie. And getting ready for the putt. So close. Came to the putt, excited to make birdie. Now, settle for par.
Yeah, a little change in the attitude right now. When you've let one go, you've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
That's a par, and that keeps the scorecard clean, still even for the round. If you're just joining us, let's take you out to our featured golfer at the 5th. Early in the round, still holding steady, even par on the day.
Yeah, it's got that feel it could go either way here. Next few holes will probably tell us which way.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Frank, it hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
Yeah, you wonder what he's thinking on that.
This is going to be a tough day on the links. I mean, even the seagulls are walking to work.
Safely on the dance floor. Even par currently.
Good roll. Solid. That's a par. Now at the 6th hole, it's a par 3, just under 200 yards. Where's the challenge here, Frank?
Well, you've got to love that bunker on the left side, Rich, especially because it's shaped like a letter L. Got to fly that. Green's not too deep, so really the challenge is trying to flight that ball in amongst the breeze should it kick up.
Frank, I think that's going to the bunker.
Looks like it.
Frank missed the green off the tee.
Yeah, but this is certainly a tricky little shot coming up here at the par 3.
Great knees, great hands in this shot.
Yeah, touch. You have to have that feel. You have something between the ball and the club face, so it's a different feel, but you also have to have imagination.
Well, this is the kind of wind that separates the great players from the average players. You really have to be strong to handle these kinds of winds. Trying to grind out a par here. Needs it. Still even par for the day. Now to the 7th hole here at Lighthouse Point. Frank, we all love the shorter par 4s.
There's so many decisions to be made here at 7. If you look at the scorecard, it's not very long, but when you start to flash your driver down that right side, you'll notice that fairway gets very narrow. So the decision is really that's the prudent play or not. From there, it's just a short iron in, and you should be looking at birdie.
Second shot. Good look at the green.
Well, that's a little absurd, that, Rich. That shot wasn't that hard, but it's come up well short.
Didn't appear committed through impact. Yes, he's holed it, Frank.
Unbelievable. From that distance.
Seventh hole at Lighthouse Point is only 370 yards, Frank. Are you happy if you walk out of here with anything other than birdie?
If you hit the fairway, you definitely should be looking at birdie, but the biggest problem here is to decide, Rich, what club to hit off the tee. You could hit a multitude of clubs here. Further up you go, the narrower this fairway gets.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live second-round coverage of the Mid-Season Classic. New course to most of the golfers on tour, this challenging layout just opened in 2015. Today, we're along the east coast of Maine. Rich Lerner with Frank Nobilo. We'll be calling all the action from the cliffs at Lighthouse Point.
Another great design from Brand Patel, and they really threw the boat out here. Some excellent choice of holes, and you see the changes in elevation. You get this on a windy day, and of course 7,700 yards will play even longer than that. A nice calm day though, Rich, and you really can shoot a good score out here.
Good chance at one. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Needs a few more of those. That was a good birdie.
Yeah, this time, that one gets him in the top 10.
Par 4 7th here at Lighthouse Point is only 370 yards. Frank, are you unhappy if you walk out of here with anything other than a birdie?
I think we'll see all sorts of different scores here, Rich. If you hit the fairway, then obviously you're definitely going to be looking at birdie. But you stray or hit the wrong club off the tee, that's really what this hole's about. It's about club selection. You could hit a multitude of clubs off this tee.
Ready for his second shot, trying to knock it on the green. Well, he gave us a demonstration today why he's one of the best in the sport. Every green hit in regulation. Frankie's going for 2 birdies in a row.
If he can knock this one in, then that's certainly going to help the confidence.
Well, he'll have to get up and down from the bunker to save his par. Looking to splash this softly onto the green. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Well, too bad. He gives one back. Now another par 3. We're at the 8th. Frank, it's only 165 yards.
It is, but when you look at the green, you can see how narrow it is. Actually, the green is nearly a figure 8, so it's obviously the right number hole. Bunker's sort of short leftish and that little pocket area on the right, so it'll punish anything left or right, even though the hole's just that meager yardage.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. He really likes this hole. Made birdie yesterday. Can he do it again today? Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Clean this up with a tap. Did the job right there. We move to the 9th hole and we begin to go inland, Frank. I'll miss some of the views along the ocean. I won't miss the nerves with the potential of a golf ball sailing off into the Atlantic Ocean. That said, Par 5, you think about a scoring opportunity, but then I look at the scorecard and it says this is the number 6 handicap hole. That's pretty tough.
It is, and the reason why is there's trouble both sides of this fairway, and that's normally sand and cliffs, and the designer's really thrown the boat out. Excuse the pun, we are on the coastline here. This whole dog legs to the left, and ideally you just sort of like to go fairway, fairway pitch. That's the prudent way to play the hole, but of course everybody likes to chance the driver and reach the par 5 and 2. Miss, pay the price.
Frank made this hole just a little bit harder hitting it into the rough.
I would say a lot harder.
This requires a lot of speed through the ball. And it makes the green in regulation. Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. Setting himself up for a good weekend, the wily golf instructor makes his birdie. So 9 holes down here at the Cliffs at Lighthouse Point. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Checking out this 10th hole, Frank. Is this a typo? 592 yards, but it's a par 4, not a par 5. What gives?
The reason why that tee shot, severe elevation, so we can at least sort of chew 30 or 40 yards off that number. But I'm not saying this hole's short, that's for sure. So that bunker just at the start of the fairway on the left certainly comes into play. The other feature, or interesting feature here at 10, is the shared green. This green shares that little piece of property with 13, just divided by that little pot bunker in the middle.
In the fairway, shouldn't be more than 200 yards to the flagstick. Should be pretty good right there, on the safe side. That will be a great look at birdie. This one just requires a little bit of focus. Oh, I thought he had that.
Just a fraction too aggressive. Remember, line and speed go together.
Sometimes you want that birdie so badly, and all of a sudden you're faced with a lot of work, more work than you had hoped for, just to make the par. And he makes it for par. There you have it, Frank. The second round is complete. What are your thoughts?
I think anybody looking at this leaderboard, anybody in the top 10 of that leaderboard is certainly in a good position to win. Quality of the golf there in that first 10 is excellent.
EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Mid-Season Classic. Frank, this game has taken us all over the world to some absolutely beautiful spots, and this is one of the prettiest I've seen in a long time, the cliffs at Lighthouse Point along the eastern coast of Maine.
Yeah, it's always fun when we head up in the northeast area. Golf's been in this area for a long, long time. This golf course hasn't. Rather new design by Brandt and Patel, and it's lengthy, 7,700 yards. You'll get to hit just about every club in the bag, so good test today.
Now on the 10th hole here at the cliffs at Lighthouse Point as we begin our trek homeward here at this magnificent golf course. This one puts a little fear into you, Frank. I'm looking at a par 4, and it's almost 600 yards. Help,
you're going to need it, that's for sure. And one of the things they've done to help you is a big elevated tee, so that'll at least chew some of the yardage off. Hopefully the prevailing breeze is also at your back, which might shorten that number up. Pretty generous fairway. Try and take those bunkers out of play with the big hefty club. And when you get on the green, you're going to realise there's 2 greens here, Rich. 10 shares the same green as 13.
Good swing, good shot yet again. Made par yesterday, this one for birdie. Impressive, goes to 3 under with that birdie for the tournament. Now we go to the 11th hole, and this is a par 5, but it's actually shorter than the par 4 10. This one comes in at 530 yards, and more evidence of the kind of creativity by the award-winning design team of Patel and Duncan.
Well, that's right. Patel really is known to be the shaper. He's the one that makes all those interesting shapes of the bunkers. For example, here, nipping it in the fairway, making driver almost too much club or very, very risky, plus the front bunker there. Now, this is a great par 5. The reason why, it's reachable, it's tempting, but you don't know what you're going to finish up shooting on it.
Frank, this is just a pleasure to watch. A player hitting on all cylinders at the top of his game.
Notice it's just flowing too. There's not a lot of deep analysis going through his mind. Just one step in front of the other. If your swing's there, you don't have to find it. If your putting stroke's there, you don't have to find it. Just let it happen.
About 25 feet from the cup. And the computer dials this one up at 26 feet. Did a nice job with that putt. Good read, good speed. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. That's an important birdie right there, into the top 5 on this leaderboard.
Well, there's so much at stake this week, Rich.
Back here now at the 12th hole, par 4, 439 yards, Frank, to the center of this green off the black tees.
And if the breeze blows left to right, this hole plays very hard. One of the reasons why, just through the fairways littered with bunkers. So not only do you have to pick the right line, but somehow you've got to get that ball the right distance as that hole bends completely to the left. Rather interesting shaped green here at 12.
This is a stiff test, no doubt.
Second shot. This looks like it's going to find the target.
What a shot. Perfectly placed right next to the hole. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Oh yeah, birdie, Frank, and another shot closer.
Sniffing in the right direction.
Well, well, well. What do we have here, partner? The par 5 13th, or is it a par 8? I can't tell.
It looks like a misprint, Rich. 702 yards, and not only that, too, they put the 2 fairway bunkers in a perfect place. Perfect place if they want to annoy your tee shot. It's going to take 310, 320 yards just to get past that. Then you've got a long, long way to go. And, of course, remember when you're on 10? This is the shared green, so 13 and 10, this is where they meet up again at the end of a long, long walk.
Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot. He's set up for his third shot here, looking to get it on the green with this. What a nice shot, about 9 feet from the pin. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read.
Given the situation, Rich, things so tight at the top. Very, very good birdie.
That was huge right there. Still with a great chance to come away with this title. This is a good-looking shot.
Well, it was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
Okay, good shot on the dance floor. For par.
No mistake made there with par.
Frank, in golf, there's nothing quite like the final round of a hotly contested championship, and this one could be a doozy.
And there's nothing quite like that leaderboard I'm looking at right now. We are going to have some amazing golf. This one is going to have to be won.
PGA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live final round coverage of the Mid-Season Classic. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my colleague Frank Novelo here today calling the action from the cliffs at Lighthouse Point. And Frank, this course features some breathtaking scenery.
It certainly does, Rich. Changes of elevation, and it's in phenomenal shape. We've got to send our thanks out to the superintendent, Peyton Duncan, who's got the course exactly primed. You should enjoy it. You should enjoy the views. Take your camera as well. This is very scenic up in New England.
Second shot. Good look at the green. This one looks like it's headed right for the middle of the dance floor, Frank.
Rather nice shot, I would say.
Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie.
Really. This is an awkward length. That's what you want to see right now, right there. Great birdie.
Time running out, but still, he could get the job done. We'll see. Frank, it hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
Yeah, you wonder what he was thinking on that.
Second shot from the rough. It's on the way.
It's a big green. Just managed to get it smack bang in the middle of it.
And getting ready for the putt. No damage done. Made the par. 17th hole is another par 5 over 600 yards. You get a terrific view of Juniata Crossway Bridge just ahead. And Frank, if you jump over that bridge, you can get a dynamite lobster roll at Nielsen's Lobster Shack. I don't know if you've ever had it.
Oh,
but
it's one of the best.
It just adds to sort of the charm of this area. But what a hole this is.
S-shaped par 5. You can see it bending to the right off the tee, and then the hole starts to go the other way with a magnificent view of the bridge you're just referring to. Reachable for the longest hitters, but once again, avoid the bunkers, and they're all down the right side.
It's a good spot right there.
Center cut.
Really some strong winds out there today, and we can already see the effects on some of these shots. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
I mean, that's how the game is played, right there.
He's just making it look so easy. That birdie coming up, formality.
Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Moves into second place with that birdie. Well, at last we're at number 18, and Frank, I have really enjoyed this golf course, and now when you see the lighthouse in the distance, it really makes it that much more special.
It is. The beacon will always take you home, and speaking of home, this finishing hole, it bends to the left. A good tee shot will somehow find the fairway and just leave you a short iron in. And, of course, you make 3 here, and then that smile's going to light up like a beacon.
That was just a beautiful drive. And hit it solid and right in the middle. Frank, straight uphill with this approach shot, what do you have to factor in terms of club selection and setup over the ball?
Well, you're going to have to take at least an extra club to make up for that added elevation. And also, it's tougher to get onto that front foot.
Frank, I think that's going in the bunker.
Looks like it.
Well, he'll have to get up and down from the bunker to save his par. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now he'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
You like this one, Frank?
Oh, it's a good one. Safely on.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. They'll take it. That's a par. Frank, it was a great setting with great crowds. We saw plenty of very good golf. Your thoughts?
I think the course really extracted some of the golf that we saw. It forced these players to play just some great golf. And it wasn't just like a pitch and a putt golf course. So I think seeing the guys tested, seeing the players tested at this level,